Well, school districts across America have canceled classes, meaning Monday morning will begin with millions of students learning from home, and their parents will have to take the lead in this situation. Psychologist and pediatric mental health expert Dr. Roseann Capanna-Hodge has some tips to share for families in this learn from home situation. She joins me now via Skype. Thank you so much, doctor, for joining us.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Parents were not prepared to be homeschoolers, and they're going to be homeschoolers in most places for at least 2 weeks, and some places even longer. And, they need to put a schedule in place. And the first thing they need to do is find out what their school is expecting. Are there going to be online classes? Are there packets? Is it Google Classroom? Is it Zoom? So that's where they need to start, and then from there build a schedule with their kids. And it should be a schedule that is something that a child can print out and reference, and they want to do it for the known amount of time that their child is going to be out. I would suggest at least 2 weeks. And then they even need to have their own work schedule printed out, and you need to be able to go over it with your child and your teen together, and that's really, really important. Children are used to structure and predictability, and this isn't summer break. This isn't where kids can do what they want and take fun camps. And they are going to be returning to school, and keeping that structure in place is critical to maintain their learning over this time. It's just not going to be easy for parents, but putting this schedule in place with whatever learning or activities are expected of them is absolutely essential.
Yeah, this really is a transition time, and you are talking about setting a schedule for your child. Let's talk about physical activity, because I know that can be important as well. Many of these children spending a lot of time at home. So what is that going to look like?
Yeah, so in your schedule, you should have everything in your schedule, including physical activity. So depending on where you live, I live in the country, so my kids are in their backyard. We need to be mindful of social isolation, and families need to do what is best for them. They need to be mindful of what the WHO organization is recommending for guidelines, but social distancing and staying at least 5 to 6 feet away from people is what's recommended, as well as frequent hand washing. So how you structure your activities is different, but you can get out on a bike, you can ride around. When it comes to learning, if kids are doing online learning or packets of work, guess what, parents? They can't sit for terribly long periods of time. Most kids are getting up physically and transitioning between classes at least every 40 minutes. My recommendation is every 20 minutes to get up and do an activity. Put it in the schedule. That can be simple yoga moves, but they need physical activity for at least 30 minutes a day. And just tell your kids it's an expectation, and it's how they earn media time, because we don't want them on their devices all day just because it's a quarantine.
Yeah, and that's important because many schools are switching to online learning. How do you limit that screen time? What should be the allotted time, especially when they're doing schoolwork on these devices as well?
Yeah, so that's an individual parent decision. Some parents allow kids a couple hours a day. Some parents don't allow any during the week. I would say that depending on what you normally do is sort of what you should stick to. But, if kids are only expected to do an hour of schoolwork a day, you have to it's okay for parents to say, I've got to work from home. Maybe they should have an hour a day. That's something you'll have to work out, but my clear recommendation is to let your kids know in advance, because otherwise you're going to be arguing. So establish the boundaries, put it in writing so everyone knows, and communication doesn't break down.
Yeah, this whole situation has hit a lot of us so quickly, and we're seeing people obviously going out to stores, they're panic buying. It's a very uncertain time right now, and for students, that meant school was canceled in a moment's notice. How do you talk to your child about something like a pandemic, coronavirus, and what's happening?
Yeah, so the first thing you need to do is, as a parent, you need to get calm, right? So we are our child's life preserver. Doesn't matter how old they are, if they're 25 or 3. So Do what you need to do to get educated yourself with good facts from credible sources. Get calm, take some deep breaths. I like to do a 5, 7, 8 breath. So that's 5 minutes, in, hold for 7 and out for 8. Do that at least 3 times. And then talk to your kids, give them the facts. Let them know your school has said you're going back March 27th or whatever day it is. Let them know that that could change, but then talk to them about what learning is going to look like at home. Most kids, once they know their structure, their nerves will calm. If your child is already anxious, you want to be really mindful that this can be very triggering for them. You're going to speak to your child in the way that most reassures them. Don't freak out. Really, honestly, in front of your kids, take a deep breath, let them know what they can do. So one of the best ways to control anxiety in general for yourself and to your child is knowing you have control of things. So talk to your kids about what they can control. Hand washing, social distancing, eating really healthy foods, drinking water, taking vitamins. These are things that are in our control and can make kids feel better.
Yeah, I think that's so important, not only for children as well as adults during this time. Thank you so much, doctor, for your expertise. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.